Painted fabric is often stiff and leathery, so I'll show you how to get a soft result. I intended for this piece to be the piece I make over, but a few things went wrong. I started out by removing the upholstered seat using my heat gun to soften the glue. You could also paint the fabric in place since the paint comes off of the sealed wood really easily. I didn't expect this piece of furniture to be in such great shape under the cushion, so I won't reattach it with glue. That way it gives you the flexibility of either using the cushion or not. To avoid having stiff paint, I'm using my secret ingredient, which is fabric softener. I'm adding the fabric softener to some acrylic paint. Initially, the fabric softener incorporated into the acrylic paint rather easily, but then I got greedy and added the whole puddle. The mixture was chunky on my brush, but it spread nicely onto the fabric. The paint stiffened the fabric just a little bit and still has wrinkles and a soft appearance. This is an upgrade from the stained cushion we started with, but let's do a bit better. Next up is this Victorian chair with a very pretty toile fabric. It's too bad this fabric is so discolored and stained because it really is nice. I'm refinishing the wood, so I'm removing all of the upholstered pieces. My trusty heat gun stopped working, and instead of grabbing my hairdryer, I tried to rip the back piece off like a brute. The tear is a bit beyond repair, so I'm replacing it. The piece that's meant for the back fits very well and looks good with the cushion. While I can appreciate the look of mahogany, I don't actually enjoy it or like it for myself, so I'm changing the wood tone. I'll be using paint to mimic the wood tone of the bench from earlier in the video. Since I'm not restaining this piece, I didn't need to sand all the way to the bare wood. I was directing the heat from the heat gun at just the upholstery, but it also softened the glue of the rear legs. I reattached both of them using a combination of wood glue and hot glue so I can start painting right away. For my faux wood finish, I'm starting with a neutral brown. I painted the entire chair, avoiding the parts the upholstery will cover. While I was sanding the chair, I made sure to make the back nice and smooth and get rid of all the glue ridges from when the upholstered back was attached before. This looks pretty alarming on camera, but I'm using yellow ochre paint to imitate the look of wood grain. The cinnamon color paint Tiny Keyhole Minis uses would work a bit better for this and give a more natural look, but this base coat doesn't matter too much because it will be covered up. I'm using a stiff bristle brush to create some streaks in the natural direction the wood grain would be going for whatever piece I'm painting. I'm unifying this crazy mess with a coat of antique wax by Waverly. The top coat is a bit transparent so you can see some of the striations of the paint underneath. I finished with a coat of gloss Mod Podge. I'm not sure if it showed up on camera, but my test piece had quite a few pills in the fabric. I'm using my lighter to burn off any fibers or pills on the surface to get a smoother result. I transferred my fabric softener into a squeeze bottle so it's easier to control the amount I'm adding. I used approximately 2 parts paint and 1 part fabric softener. To make it even softer, I sanded it with 220 grit, which happened to make it look a bit like denim. I mixed up an even lighter blue color with some more of the fabric softener. This is entirely optional, but I'm making it even softer using some paste finishing wax from my dusty garage. I'm applying the wax with a rapidly disintegrating Chipotle napkin, so I suggest something more substantial like a paper towel. I saw either DIY Danny or Lone Fox use finishing wax on a painted piece of full-size upholstery. The wax seems to fill the voids between the painted fibers and makes it feel a bit smoother. I'm 2 years into my channel and still forgetting to take before photos, but I think we can all agree this looks a lot better. Check out this video next to see how I transformed a fireplace with mercury glass and bricks.